right, I'm going to be asking a question to Mr. Damien. And my question is, Mr. Damien, you've dedicated your work to unlock the potential of young people across Africa. So, in your experience, what is the greatest obstacle that is preventing the youth in this generation from walking confidently in their God given purpose? And how can they overcome it?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear some of the few words you were able to translate for me. I was trying to get some of the meaning of it. Thank you, co-panelist. I'm very excited to have this kind of balance in the panel. You know, military, we know them for discipline, and I have that admiration for our military men and women who are serving wherever they are. At the Bear Church is something I've known for a long time from afar, and I admire the level of discipline that they have. Coming to the questions, young people, if I may put it in the context of today, if you don't mind, I was born in Benin Republic. You know, we all speak French in Benin. I'm speaking English today because I happened to be in exile in Ghana when I was 15 years old. And it was quite a painful situation. And when I was coming out of my exile, some of the few voices that I came across, I mean, I'll name some few, but because we are here, I would go on social media and read things, and you know, some of the time you see some posts coming from this side. You know, the president of Rwanda has been making some speech. You guys can hear here in Kinyarwanda. Some of the things are in English. And for some of us in the situation that I was in, it was a kind of hope, a light that, you know, you are not defined by your circumstances. Yes. And in one occasion, I heard him saying, even repeatedly, that his most difficult challenge was to change the mindset of his fellow citizen. He's talking about Rwandese then. I think I have to add to that to say one of my calling was to challenge the young people to find out that we are not what we are said to be because we are black. And then we limit ourselves to that. You know, sometimes we think if one Muzungu enter here now, the whole atmosphere of the room changes. So that kind of shaking we have within us and not believing what we are capable of doing, I believe we are all groomed by two things, nature and nature. Nature means God give us some potential that are God-given. Even science have proven that. If I'm born without arms, maybe I will never be a driver, perhaps. And I might start with some limitation or some advantages. Now, on top of that, if you get the gift from God and you don't nurture it, sometimes you see some people are giving less, some giving more, but no matter how much you are giving is what you make of it. Yes. And to that, I think who we are, wherever we are born from, the family, or having the chance to get to know God, it's a gift we get granted from God. But what we make of ourselves, that become our gift to that God. Yes. And I think sometimes we lose that in the process, and we think there are technical things that I call technical problem that can be solved by know-how. If you have like solution at hand. Now, there are other issues that are complex, and that's why we should go to God and pray because we don't have the answer to it. But now, imagine we are 8 billion people probably in the world now, and the problems that we can solve, like technical problems that we know this is what it takes to do this, but then we refuse to do that, and we want to just pray to God. So if all the 8 million people will send that to God, however almighty and powerful our God is, as a scientist, I think we have a problem. Yes. So that's why, for me, I think our young people, as I'm still somehow part of the team, because I started after my tragedy of being in exile, so I came to Rwanda here. I met so many young people whom I'm proud of today if I see what they're achieving. And I think sometimes we don't think that we need to live by principle. And if we have that principle within us, which is characterized by three things: it's universal, it's timeless, and it's self-evident. What you should not do to others, because we are in an environment that I believe is full of many people who believe in God, don't do unto others what you can do, you would not like to be done unto you. It's simple principle.
Yes.
But the rules could be: don't lie, don't steal, don't do this, and that's the Old Testament. Now
Yes.
we have the principle that young people today, unfortunately, do not have a compass. They don't have a principle that guide their life. And that's why most of us fail. And the second thing is that they don't know that they can choose. Like, I choose to be here. Despite all the voices telling me, there was a time I was in Rwanda and I would receive a call: Damien, where are you? I'm in Rwanda. Are you still alive? I say, but you are talking to me. Are you not in jail? So you hear people thinking, like, I'm like, okay, but at least I'm talking to you on phone. It means this is a pretty fancy jail, because the jail you can pick the phone directly without intermediary. That's not a common jail, you know. So you have to go through those challenges. For people who have never been here, and they will preach to you, oh, you know what happened in Rwanda? You know, there is this. And then you have to live with that fear instead of going to discover what is happening there. So most young people feel like subject to those reality. They don't think they can choose. Eric sent me an invitation, and I accepted on my honor that I will come to this event. Something happened that I didn't tell him. Last week I was called. This very Saturday last week was the birthday of our newly elected president, who happened to be a relative. So they invited me to come to Benin by express, come there, and then we need to celebrate the birthday of this president. And second of all, the president is planning a visit to Rwanda for his first country that he chose to go around the world. And we need to consult, because you've lived there enough. We need to know what are the things and the detail we have to take into consideration. Now, you can't refuse such a call to say, okay, now, you know, I have an invitation from Eric, so I cannot come for this. So I went to Benin. And last Saturday I was in Benin, and I wouldn't even know that I'll be here today. But because it's something I committed to do by choice, I told them, okay, I'll be coming back, but I have some other engagement, few engagement in Kigali. I think I've done enough with what is supposed to be done here. Let me go and return back. And I'm here today. So sometimes young people don't know they have a choice.
Yes.
And they think we are subject to circumstances. Life is this. We don't have a control. It's you who decide where you want to be, what you want to do. And if we master those details, principle, choice, and change is inevitable. There are things I don't have control over. Somebody may want to come here now, and God forbid, what if they have an accident on their way? They can't be here. So that is why we pray that God prevent those things that we don't have control over, and the change is always there. Those are the complex problems that we have to be ready for. Thank you very much.
Purpose often requires sacrifice. What has following God's calling cost you personally, and why has that sacrifice been worth it?
I think sometimes one thing we forget: where we want to go is not always the most difficult things ahead of us, in front of us. It is mainly what we are ready to let go in order to be available for.
Yes.
And I think, I don't mean to speak in the terminology of the word we are using, but the direction is clear. When these Israelites, they were in the wilderness, right? And they have to cross from Israel to Canaan to the promised land. They have to face a lot of challenges. And one thing God told them is to not save bread. It's in a way to say, I'll give you today's bread. Our president just turned 50 years old, because he was in his late 40s when he became president. Now, he's not going to go back to 40 or 30 again. That is over. It can only keep increasing. So what are we ready to sacrifice to be available for what today's bread, what God is giving us today? Sometimes we forget that quickly, and we focus on, we want to hang on to it. And we don't, in fact, we need to free ourselves to be able to fly like birds. Yes. But we want to feed ourselves with all kinds of things we don't want to release. Yet if you don't release, you don't let go, you can be available for today and what is coming up. And most of the time, that is what is holding us behind. Because we want to hold on to the past, to the things that we think we cannot live without. Unfortunately, in God's plan, if we don't let it go, we cannot receive what is coming forward. And just to add some few words to what our elder have just said, I think it is important that sometime we make those hard choices to see, I can be in Benin and be in Rwanda at the same time. I have to choose one. And that choice requires sacrifice, it requires a lot of implication. And I have to make the choice knowing that it comes from me. Nobody is acting upon me. I choose to do this. And sometimes we fail to make those choices.
Yes.
I will
Wow.